first guest tonight is an extra funny man who is a prolific creator of both comedy specials and children. His new special, Comedy Monster, is on Netflix now. Please welcome Jim Gaffigan. You know, I hesitate to throw the word hero around, but you flew out here from New York.
I did.
Just to entertain these people, some of whom are from New York, and you probably are.
Those are all my children, actually. No, I flew out here, but, you know, I've been vaccinated and boosted, you know, but it is strange. I mean, I will admit my parents haven't been vaccinated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, they've been dead for a couple decades.
Oh, yeah.
Still, they
want to get in there.
You know what I mean? Who they've never met.
Very irresponsible.
It's just selfish. It's a selfishness.
You doing well? Everything is good?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Your comedy special is very funny.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny because a lot of the material in the special is about COVID, and it's about the pandemic and being cooped up and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, when did you actually shoot it?
I shot it in October, and I remember my manager was like, I don't know if you should do COVID material. It might be over by then. And I was like, don't be silly. But I didn't know that Omicron would come in and make it incredibly relevant. So,
yeah, you lucked out.
Thank you, Omicron. No, it is. It's, you know, the pandemic is just, it's never ending, right?
Yeah, it seems like it, yeah.
We just have this ongoing thing. It's like we're living in an episode of Dateline. Every couple minutes, we find out a piece of information, and then we have to wait for more information. And we're never going to find out the end.
Yeah, well, I hope we don't find out the end, because the end might be bad.
Right. I think when they end with, when the Greek alphabet ends, we're all dead.
Zeta, we're gone, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is your 9th comedy special,
Yes.
That's a lot of comedy specials. I wonder, you know, when you were young and you're starting out and you were trying to scratch together 5 minutes or 8 minutes or something like that, if you ever imagined you'd be able to do this?
No, I mean, I had no expectation. I mean, the 9th special, I'm just trying to get my dad to like me. No, it is one of those weird things, but it's all self-assignment in comedy. So I find it incredibly rewarding, and it's just fun, and it gets me out of the house.
Is it the same for the people in your life having a 9th because the first comedy special obviously is a huge deal.
Oh, yeah. People were very excited. Now I have siblings that they don't really keep track of specials. They keep track of how much money they think I make. They're like, you know, I think that Jimmy could afford to take us all on vacation right now. So it's one of those, they're not interested at all. I mean, they'll come occasionally, but it's not like
to the taping of the special.
No,
do you want them to come to the taping of the special?
No, I mean, there is, you know, first of all, I'm one of 4 boys, and I'm considered 3rd funniest.
Right, yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So there's always that, variable of like, they could have done it better. But I always say, yeah, you're funnier, but I have more comedy specials. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah, by a number of 9. It is a funny thing because you think the people that you love most and who love you the most would be your biggest supporters in an audience, but you can see them out there going like, yeah, he got that from me.
Right, yeah, or they were at a point, you know, they were proud, but now it's gotten to the point of just annoyance.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and they're probably tired of hearing about you all the time from all their friends.
I wouldn't want to hear about I just think of my sister-in-law going to the grocery store, and she gives a credit card, and they're like, oh, do you know Jim Gaffigan? And she's like, yeah, I married his brother, who was supposed to be the most successful one. I mean, my brother Joe is 15 times smarter than me. So it's weird.
Yeah, but, you know, that's how it goes. Sorry, Joe.
There you go.
You do spend a lot of time with your family. Over the holidays, you were posting pictures from, like, Disney World, Universal. Whose idea was that?
Sadly, it was mine.
It was your idea.
I mean, it's like this It's a self-inflicted wound I do every couple years. I get to travel and I'll do shows and I'll bring my family and amazing places. And there's always a moment during these trips where I'll look at my kids, they'll be in the pool, and I'll think the same thing. I'm never doing this again. Because it's too hard. It's like, that's why every dad on vacation looks like he lost a bet. Because he did. And that's why moms look happy on vacation, because they know the dad is suffering. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, my dad was terrible on vacation.
Yeah.
On the few vacations we went on, if the car made it to Disneyland,
oh, yeah.
that was a huge hurdle to clear just to start with.
My dad, the big highlight, my dad would take us to movies, but like he would just be like, you want to go to a movie? And you'd be like, yeah, sure. And you would just get in the car and go. You wouldn't know what movie you were going to see.
Really?
You would just show up at the theater. He would buy tickets. You would go in. It didn't matter when the movie started. You would watch the ending of the movie, and then you'd stick around and watch the beginning. And so there was always moments where you're like, wow, this was probably a really interesting movie. We had seen it in chronological order.
Wow.
And then we would leave in the middle, and people would be like, what's wrong with that family? It was crazy.
I think that's like the opposite of OCD that your dad had, whatever that was.
There's a level of impatience that I think that as a child, I thought was insanity, but I definitely embrace it. So like, when I will buy lunch when we're traveling and I buy lunch for my family, I'll just disappear and get lunch. Like, there's no taking orders of like, I would like a burger with this on it. I'm like, you're just getting what I'm getting you. Because it's like, I don't want to waste the time. And I guess I'm kind of a dick.
And yet, your dad taking you guys to a random movie and getting in the theater in the middle of the film is probably the craziest thing I've ever heard in my whole life.
I mean, that was that generation, right?
It wasn't. He was the only one.
It was just like, I like to think that it was a generational thing. Like, when I go to these parent-teacher conferences, I'm like, my dad didn't even know what school I went to.
Yeah, right. Well,
He didn't think I even went to school.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
He was just like, I was there for yard work. You know what I mean? I was some guy that would get him a scotch, and, like, they used to send me, did you ever have this? My parents smoked. They would send me to the grocery store. I was maybe 8 for a carton of cigarettes. And I would get there, and they wouldn't be like at the grocery store. They wouldn't be like, "What's going on with an 8-year-old?" They'd be like, "Do you need matches?" No one cared.
Jim Gaffigan is here. His special is called Comedy Monster. It's on Netflix. We'll be right back. We're back with Jim Gaffigan, who is not only does he have a special on Netflix called Comedy Monster, you are in the Hotel Transylvania Transformania movie, which we saw the billboard for driving this weekend, and my daughter's like, I've got to watch that.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I know that, I've got big plans to watch it with my family. This pandemic has definitely created the family movie thing. That's the only thing in my family where we put our phones down, we watch a movie together, and then we go back to yelling at each other.
Do you watch it? Do you guys start it in the middle, just as a shout out to Grandpa?
No, but I'll make my nachos. I'll make nachos because I love cheese, and so like these cheese manufacturers will send me these blocks of cheese. So I started making nachos, and then I'll put my hot peppers on the nachos.
Oh yeah, your peppers.
Yes.
I want to mention your peppers too. You've been gardening.
Well, since the pandemic, we rented a house, and there was some gardening beds. And when I was in 8th grade, I wanted to be a farmer. I grew up in Indiana. I love growing things. I just didn't do it for
It seems like you wouldn't be able to go outside, really, without a lot of protection.
Oh, that's true. That's very true.
But this is what you've been growing.
Those are a lot of peppers, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of peppers. What kind of peppers do you know?
I was, a lot of these I'm so ignorant on all this stuff.
They're just peppers.
There's just a lot of peppers. So I was working on a movie in Vancouver, and my wife was like, I have these pepper seeds that you ordered. Do you want me to plant them? And I was like, please. And so, but she didn't know. So she planted them all together right next to each other. And of course, if you plant sweet peppers next to hot peppers, the cross-pollination, so you'll have every pepper's hot.
Right.
And so what I do is like once you grow things, you put it in everything you make. And I'm not a good cook, but like my kids had a lot of peppers for a lot of months.
Do they like the peppers? Are they?
Well, you grow to love a pepper omelet. You know what I mean? And they'd be like, why is this oatmeal spicy? And I'm like, those damn peppers I grew, and they're beautiful.
Have you had a Jimmy Nardello pepper?
No.
Oh, those are real good peppers.
Really?
I'll get you some seeds. Yeah.
Oh, I definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
It is, peppers are, by the way, I think the most rewarding thing to grow.
Why?
Because there's, first of all, they're beautiful, and there's just, like corn, it can be a whiff. You know, and I've grown corn, and you know, like if my kids are shucking the corn, if they see one worm, it's done. They're not going to eat it.
Right.
And then tomatoes, you have to protect them too much. But I feel like peppers, there's such a variety. Like we were in Mexico. It's so cool. In Mexico, there's different regions have their own peppers. It's so cool.
Did you know this, Guillermo?
Yes, of course.
Yes, yes.
By the way, everyone at home is like, are we watching two 50-year-old guys talk about peppers?
They're probably like, why are they showing vegetables?
But it's just so rewarding. So you
It
grow
is.
peppers too.
I grow everything. You don't even want to know what I'm growing.
What are you growing?
A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff?
Yeah. Well, right now we're trying
Heroin? Are you growing heroin?
I am not growing heroin. No, I'm not growing. Right now, though, we're trying to grow some gerbils in the yard.
Gerbils?
Yeah. You can grow them if you're good. Yeah.
Well, by the way, I feel like that's the next step is you get chickens. Do you have chickens?
Oh, that's a whole, you listen, no one...
My wife would kill me if I got chickens.
We'll get you set up with a coop. Jim Gaffigan, everybody. Comedy Monster. This is special. It is on Netflix now. We'll be back with Ann Dowd. Thanks for watching. If you liked that video, click the subscribe button. And if you didn't like it, well, you hurt my feelings.